I'm just so confused about today. I don't know what to do.
Like paper get highlight brain.
Did getting that skin treatment really put my body into that much of a panic state? You know, warrant me waking up at like 4:30 in the morning?
Oh my god, I see another one.
The thing is, I didn't overtrain this time. Why is my body just so sensitive to everything? It's very frustrating. So, I was pretty much forced to rest last week because I spiked my cortisol levels. My sleep was shot and my anxiety was waking me up at 4:30 in the morning. Over what, you may ask? Over getting a silly little skin treatment. A couple weeks ago, I got like a skin consult, and then I finally went in for the actual treatment, and they numbed my face and they did all this stuff to it. And now I was actually expecting the bruising to be a lot worse, but you know, for the majority of today up until now, my face has been covered in my own plasma. So I got PRF because I'm 25 and I want to do some anti-aging preventative care, and I did not expect it to spike my cortisol levels as much as it did. It is a simple little procedure. So what is PRF? It stands for platelet-rich fibrin. So what they did is they took my blood, they spun it, used the plasma from it, and microneedled it back into my face and needled it into areas where I have some volume loss, like under my eyes and in my nasal labial folds. And I guess getting it done near my eyes, that did freak me out a little bit.
Apparently, it is not just overtraining that will make me crash, because yesterday when I got my PRF, and you can see a little bruising here, apparently that was also enough to spike my anxiety, because I haven't actually been doing very much exercise, which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. So when I was getting it done, I was having my blood taken, which I'm not a fan of, and I had it injected, and I was just feeling very anxious about the procedure because, you know, they are injecting stuff like close to your eye, and I'm just like, what if they've used like a dirty needle? What if I go blind? And, you know, just starting to, you know, freak out a little bit, even though it's fine. It's chill, it's fine. And because I'm also the kind of person that will sob uncontrollably when they go under anesthesia, because the whole thing of, you know, getting my blood taken, having needles go near my eye, and, you know, going under anesthesia, it's all about like a loss of control. And it's like, what if something like bad happens to me and I don't have control over my body anymore, which is why I try to stay fit, because I don't want to become old and frail. I want to still be fit when I'm old. But getting back to the point, I also stayed up quite late last night, you know, staring at a screen up until 1 a.m. and I think I should call it much sooner than 1 o'clock. I think I should call it at around 11. That way I have some time to calm down for the night and, you know, do those little whatever exercises that'll make me calm down from a state of, you know, thinking or stress. 2 hours into sleeping, I woke up with a lot of tightness in my chest. I swear I had a dream where I swallowed an entire grape and I choked, and that's when I woke up. I swear that happened, and that's why I woke up. But I was just feeling like really, really tight in my chest, and my forehead has been hurting because that's where I hold all of my tension. And I didn't really do anything today. I don't feel very useful or good right now, and I just need to, again, listen to my body and not push it when it's telling me that it's hurting right now. So tonight, what I'm going to be doing is trying a Nidra sleep yoga meditation. I'm hoping that with a body scan it might do something else, but I've never tried it before, so that is my little Tuesday update.
It was a very low risk procedure and I was not expecting it to freak me out as much as it did. I feel very confused this morning. I woke up at around 4:30 and I felt awake. I didn't really feel anxious. I feel like I'm just so confused about today. I don't know what to do because my body feels tired, but I'm not tired enough to, you know, go to sleep. And so maybe I need to do some physical activity. Maybe I need to do some morning Pilates, or I maybe need to go on a walk, or maybe I should, you know, just hop into work now. But is that going to, you know, crash my body out? Should I do physical activity or should I just get stuck into work? It's kind of put me into like this little paralysis, just like, what does my body need? Well, it's saying it's too tired to do physical activity. And it's just like, but it's also saying it's too tired to do work, but I also need to do work. And it's very frustrating. The thing is, I didn't overtrain this time. Like, why did I still wake up at 4:30 this morning? To getting that, you know, skin treatment and, you know, having like a small little panic about having like a skin treatment really put my body into that much of a panic state to, you know, warrant me waking up at like 4:30 in the morning. I want to do this. I want to, you know, post my journey online. Like, it doesn't feel stressful, but is my body just like slowly like cracking under it? I want to, you know, do all this client work and I want to do all of this stuff, and I just want to like slap my body and just go, stop being so weak and pathetic, just do things, just like stop freaking out, like just fall asleep, stay asleep, because I had my melatonin, I've been getting my morning sunlight, I've been having like my little, like a full anxiety tablet instead of like half a one. Maybe it's because I haven't been taking my magnesium. It's so frustrating because I'm trying to make progress, but why is my body just so sensitive to everything? Maybe I need to give it like a couple of days, but it's just like, oh my god. Or maybe I do need anxiety medication. And because early on in the week I was waking up early, I would just try and pass the time until my body was ready to crash again. So I did decide to go on a walk. It is very cold. I'm staring at a cat right now. It's actually so cute. It's a little ragdoll. I want to go see if I can pet it. Nah, not gonna let me. Oh my god, I see another one. This one's black. Oh, and I don't think it's gonna want to say hello. I'm crying. Can you see it here? I want to pet it. Okay, I'm tired. I feel so delirious. And everything's funny to me when I'm tired. I like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I get pieces of money. I don't know. I was hating on the cold air, but now it's like, it's so crisp. And it's actually kind of like refreshing. And it's nice. If you come around here, I make them all day. I get one down every second, every day. So, what the heck gives? And before I start seeing a doctor, maybe I can try and figure this out myself. And aside from the things I was already doing, it suggested try cold showers. I have come back from my walk, and while I was on my walk, it told me, you know, various different ways that I can regulate my nervous system, because apparently my body is in a state of hypervigilance, and one thing can just make it go poof and just crash out, which is very unfortunate. So that means I need to start incorporating a lot of minor habits into like my day-to-day routine. And so the first thing that I'm going to be doing is having a cold shower. And not gonna lie, it wasn't so bad. So I've had my shower. It was actually quite nice. I kind of just rotated myself like a rotisserie chicken and, you know, counted to 60 seconds and I hopped out. And it wasn't so bad. I reckon I probably could make a habit out of this. So we're trying to implement some new habits, and if it's not because I'm overtraining, then why is my body in such a state of hypervigilance? And not gonna lie, it kind of made sense as to why. I've been sitting down at my laptop to do a little bit more research about regulating my nervous system, and I asked ChatGPT, why is my nervous system so dysregulated? So it asked me questions under the categories of past experiences and emotional triggers, physical and lifestyle factors, nervous system sensitivity and overreaction, thought patterns and anxiety responses, external stresses keeping you in fight or flight mode. And my answers, not gonna lie, I can see why I'm so stressed, especially with the way that my life has been for the last 7 years. I mean, I would generally say like it's pretty good, but I have had housing instability. I have struggled with people that I've lived with and close personal relationships. I do have like a fear of losing control. Like I'll cry when I go under anesthesia. I don't like giving blood because like something's being taken from me. And I'm also afraid of, you know, commitment. So yes, lots of stresses in my recent past and more that I didn't even mention. But the heck if I know how we release the body of past trauma. And combined with the fact that I wasn't really letting myself rest, but also I do like to work. I like to keep myself busy. Like that was just a very clear, like I was not resting or doing anything for like recovery. And I don't really like being bored. I like always having something to do, and even though I might not feel so stressed about it, apparently my body is. What'll happen if I keep working? Because I feel guilty. I feel like all I've done is, edited like some videos, but I haven't worked on anything for like my business, because yesterday I caught up with a friend and today felt too exhausted to, do anything else after that. And today I'm feeling tired again, and it's just like, so I'm just not going to do any work on my business. Just like, am I just going to, be stagnant? I guess maybe I'm going to read a book. Sunrise on the Reaping has come out today. So unless I want to crash again, this week was basically just me reading. And I was not happy about it, but not going to lie, it did grow on me. Not going to lie, I'm trying to reframe today as a recovery day, because I did in fact buy Sunrise on the Reaping, and I may or may not have gotten about almost halfway through the book, reflecting a little bit more about what ChatGPT said about regulating my nervous system. And if one thing can, like getting my skin treatment, trigger an anxiety surge, then apparently I've got a pretty deep issue to deal with. As disheartening as the lack of progress on my business work is, I'm still gonna keep going with the uploading of videos, because maybe my cortisol nervous system recovery journey will be helpful to someone. So that's what I'm going to be doing, instead of trying to do my little business work. I know I kind of ended on a bit of a negative note, so instead I'll try and end something a little bit more. I'll end on a gratitude note. Whenever I was having a bad day, and Dad would, tell me, wait, what are you grateful for? Like, what went well today? So something that I'm grateful for is where I live. I live in a really nice neighborhood, and something that I love to do is go on walks and just admire all of the houses in my area, because they just have so much charm and they're so cute. Obviously I live in Australia, so there are all these cute Australian little bungalows and people maintaining their garden, and the birds are chirping and the sky is blue. It's really beautiful where I live, so I am appreciative that whenever I do decide to step out and go for a walk, I have something so pretty to admire. So Wednesday, all I really did was rest, and even on Tuesday, the day before, I just caught up with an old coworker, and I was hoping that after 2 days of rest that it would, calm my little nervous system down, but unfortunately that was just not in the cards for me, as I was still waking up at 4:30 in the morning despite my new morning routine. Today I woke up at 8:30. I did wake up at 4:30. But I was able to, fall back asleep. Not gonna lie, doing the body scan to help me fall asleep has been very effective. So that was able to help me get back to sleep at around 4:30. And I woke up at 8:30, having about 10 hours of sleep under my belt. So I went on my walk, got the morning sunlight and, the steps in. I did a little bit of yoga. I have had, that cold exposure, and doing all that, and I had protein and carbs as my breakfast, and doing all that is part of my new morning routine. Maybe it'll start working if I give it more time, but for the time being, not yet. So just how long is this going to take? I was asking ChatGPT a little bit more about nervous system cycles and cortisol levels, and so I asked, how long of deep recovery is this gonna take? And it says it depends on, your level of burnout. So you might just be mildly stressed. You might be in a mild state of burnout, or you might be chronically depleted. So I asked it, what stage am I in? And so I kind of ticked off the category for mildly burnt out. But the thing is, if I were to, keep trying to push myself while I'm in this, state of mild burnout, then I would get to a point of like chronic depletion, and we don't want that. So prioritizing regulating my nervous system is going to be one of the things on my priority list, because as we can clearly see, when I don't, I crash and burn like so quickly, and it's so frustrating. And so if we're in a mild state of burnout, what do we need to do to get into deep recovery mode? So I've been asking ChatGPT some questions. How do you actually get into deep recovery mode? So I've written out a list because I'm actually supposed to be reducing my screen time. Number 1, remove stimuli that keeps you in fight or flight. No screens, no work, no deep thinking. Let your brain fully shut down from problem solving. Reduce noise, notifications, and social media interactions. No HIIT workouts. We know that. Stick to walks, stretching, and light yoga. Prioritize parasympathetic activation, deep recovery mode, breath work, like the 4-7-8 method, or box breathing. Don't think I like box breathing as much, but the 4-7-8 is nice. It's when you inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Forces your nervous system to slow down. Weighted blanket or deep pressure therapy. Tells your body it's safe. I do not have a weighted blanket. And not gonna lie, I don't love the alternatives. Basically like a self-hug or a weighted object like a pillow or a stuffed animal to just kind of like hold. Physical recovery, 8 to 9 hours sleep. Have magnesium and carbs before bed. Whole foods and electrolytes. Easy to digest meals like have protein and with high macronutrients. The other thing that it kind of said about, you know, being in a mild state of burnout is that you crave more sugar. And oh boy, has that been true. And not gonna lie, it's pretty similar to what I've already been doing, just minus the weighted blanket and the stopping work altogether bit. The other thing that I'll need to start incorporating is to real rest. So just like how I was over exercising, apparently I also need to do that for work. How I never have time for like watching a little movie. I never have time to read. Even when people who work their 40-hour, 50-hour work weeks, they'll still have evenings where they'll just do nothing. Except for the people that don't. The people that I compare myself to. So moving forward, I'm going to need to have a real rest evening or a real rest day. On Tuesday, I actually went to go hang out with a friend, an older coworker actually, who, you know, is interested in working on a project with me. And so, unfortunately, the consensus was I simply don't have the time anymore. But, you know, I asked him some questions about how he works, because he's been teaching himself coding for quite a while, for about 3 years. I asked him like what his work schedule's like now. And he says, I work, you know, Friday to Sunday like me. And, you know, from Monday till Thursday, he works from 5 in the morning till about 5 or 7 in the evening. And I'm sure he'll have breaks and stuff like that. But just like, oh, that's exactly what I was afraid of, that I'm not doing enough. Because like, oh, that's the amount of dedication he's been putting into it. But I guess some people are just built differently. He does have more years of experience under his belt, and I will eventually get there, but comparing myself to other people's journey is just not conducive. Everyone is on their own journey, and right now I'm trying to figure out how I best work, what my routine is, how I manage stress, and maybe at some point down the line I will get to a point where I'm working longer hours. So, what does that leave me with today? I'm not feeling super energetic. My body is still feeling like really tired. I am going to be seeing a friend. We're gonna go shopping at, 4:30. I would like to continue reading my book. I'm halfway through Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm very much enjoying it. I don't normally read books that quickly. It usually takes me 3 to 6 months. So for the meantime, I just needed to rest, so I spent that evening reading a book and catching up with a friend, and not gonna lie, it made me feel really good. I hope I have a good night's sleep tonight. I feel much rejuvenated. I feel so much better today. So I caught up with one of my friends and we had a fantastic shop. And I also had such a good time, and it was so much fun. Talking with this friend, and I feel relaxed, but I also feel a little bit excitable because when you catch up with a friend, there's like a lot of laughing
and you get really hyped and you talk a lot. So essentially it's 11 o'clock at night. It's a little bit later than I would have liked to have gone to bed. So I'm gonna start and try and calm down for bed. I really hope that, you know, after having like a pretty relaxing day of, you know, like I rested today, I had fun, you know, in the evening, that I'll actually, that was actually something good for like my body and has helped my cortisol levels. And so hopefully I won't wake up at 4:30 this morning and I actually sleep the entire night. So hopefully I'll come back with a positive update.
So this week I definitely felt pretty fried, but on this journey I try to take everything as a learning opportunity, and not every week is going to be perfect. Another week, another lesson, not always perfect, but always learning. And I just know that this video is probably already going to be way longer than last week's. So if you stuck around, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys all next week. Bye bye.